Hello team, today's challenge is Earth Day Cleanup Crew, where we're given a list of items. Maybe we find these on a beach somewhere or during some sort of a mass cleanup. And based on that, we get points, right? And there are some really cool things in here. Like if we get, as an example, multiple shoes in a row, then we get a streak bonus where we can add one, add two, add three, so on, etc. And then for every fifth item, we get to multiply that value by an amount, right? So for the fifth item, we can multiply by 2. For the 10th, we divide by, or not divide, multiply by 3, and so on, etc. Okay. There's also rare items that will have a value. So something like it'll just be declared as rare and a value for that. And we just pass that through. So it doesn't get a streak bonus. It doesn't say whether it gets a multiplier though, which is kind of curious. So we'll have to take care of that at some point. Okay. To start, I'm going to grab all of these values because we need to make a lookup. And I'm not going to type all those out. That's just silly, right? Copy and paste for the wind. So I'm going to call this items lookup equals an array. Okay, an object, not an array, an object. Indenting, and this right here is a tab. You can sort of see the little arrow icon. That's the secret icon for a tab, okay? A space being a dot, right? So you'll see a dot in here if I highlight that, right? But we want these tabs, and then Command D all the way through for multiple cursors, changing it to a colon, adding a little space, jumping all the way to the end, and adding a comma, okay? That creates our object. Could we get rid of these quotes? Absolutely. Doesn't matter, okay? It really doesn't matter. So let's skip that for the moment. Jumping down to our main function, I have let total. We're going to set that to 0, and we are going to roll this up. So based on our values, we're going to increment this number until we get our final total, which we are going to output. Everything else happens in the middle, so we need a for loop, which is going to be let I equal 0. I is less than items dot length, just like this, and I plus plus. Just like that. Brilliant. Okay. We're going to use the item several times. So that would be items I, right? If I use square brackets, doing it right. Because we're going to use it several times, I'm going to attach this to item. Okay. So I'm going to extract it out, make it easier to use. And the name becomes a little bit easier on the brain. Okay. With that item, we are going to do something. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to get the item value, right? Not const. I want this to be let as well. So item value, because we might have to change this in a few moments. Okay. Whereby might, I mean, absolutely. We'll get there though. So item value is going to be item lookup, just like this, square brackets, items. You can see the 3 dots there telling me that I got this one wrong. Items lookup item. And there is a chance that not today, but in code, we always want safeguards, lots and lots of safeguards, right? Guardrails everywhere. There's a chance that inside of our array of items, they are sending something that is not in our lookup and is not declared as rare. Maybe something like a bottle cap, right? We find a bottle cap. What's the points on it? Could be 1, but we're going to set it to 0. Okay, so right here, using some nullish coalescing, just set it to 0. Maybe we should just return and ignore that, right? Or do something else, but for today, this feels okay. Okay, and then we add that. So total plus equals what? Well, it's item value. Okay, and if I run this and then jump back over here, we will see that that should give us a check mark for number 1. The reason that it doesn't give us a check mark for anything else is because 1, we haven't dealt with what happens when we have 5 or more items, right? We need to take care of that 5th item multiplier, and we haven't taken care of runs. So there's 3 cans in here, right? We need to take care of that. Also 3 straws, stuff like that. And of course, we haven't taken care of the rare. So let's do them one at a time. The first is the 5th item multiplier. Okay, right here, this is the reason that we use let. So now we are going to change item value. Okay. So if I plus 1, because it's 0 indexed and we really need it to be 1 indexed. Okay. So I plus 1, that should be in parentheses because we want that to happen first before we do any sort of division. In this case, the modulo operator. We're going to modulo 5 and see if that divides cleanly. So if the remainder is 0, good. We're going to do something. What are we going to do? Well, it's going to be item value times what? Well, it's all of this again, but this time with a divide. So we can paste this one in, hit divide, and then plus 1. And that plus 1 is actually really important. So jumping back over here, if we look at the multiplier, right? The fifth item, 5 divided by 5 is 1. Plus 1 is 2. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Plus 1 is 3, right? So we need that plus 1. But at this point, I should be able to run this, and I get 2 check marks, which is excellent. We're making progress, right? The next thing is this run of items, okay? So with that, we really want that to happen right here, okay? Specifically, we want, on line 17 here, we want to create a new variable. And this is going to be what? Current add. Seems accurate, okay? So if we have something that is the same as the previous value, we're going to add 1 to this and use that down in here, okay? So right here, we get current add, and we set that equal to the item, okay? Not the item, sorry. Item equals items I minus 1, just like this. And if that is true, then we go current add plus 1. Otherwise, we reset it, okay? So again, if the current item is the same as the previous item, then we add 1. Otherwise, we reset the counter. That's what's happening here. That's the whole magic. And so with current add, we can take this, okay? And right here on the end of this, because it always starts as 0, it doesn't matter where we put it. We could do a new line and do an item add this way, right? Or we could just go plus current add. And at this point, if we hit enter, we go back and we should see 3 check marks. Excellent. All we need to do is take care of rare, right? The question becomes, where does rare belong? And for me, if we do it too soon, right? If we did it here, then this current add wouldn't reset, right? We want it to reset when we find a rare item. So my advice instead is to put it after this current item increment, right? We put it right here. We are totally going to do stuff, and it's going to look like this. If array dot is array. So this tests if we have an array, right? What are we checking? Well, we're checking item, at which point we can change it. So total plus equals whatever item dot at 1 is. And because of how I structured this, I don't want to run any of this other code, okay? So right here we can continue, which skips to the next part of the loop, right? At which point everything works. Now, guardrails. I've talked about guardrails down here where we did the nullish coalescing. We should do a little bit more here, because what happens if this array is not the rare array, right? Again, they could toss anything in here and we have no checks for that. So let's go and test this. We want item dot at 0 to equal rare, okay? Brilliant. What happens if item dot at 1 doesn't exist, right? If like we didn't supply any value. Why? Because reasons, right? It could be any reason. So let's go and add that nullish coalescing there and set it to 0, and everything still works great, okay? At this point, we are pretty much done. We can clean this up just a little bit, okay? But look at what we've done. We created a lookup object, and then we did some looping math, and it's a bit busy, but it gets the job done, okay? And we could comment through this to document the steps that we've done, right? Because we started out just doing the lookup and adding, and then we did the fifth multiplier, right? That's what they're calling it on the other in the description. And then we did the streak modifier, and then we did the rare items. Okay. Something that we can do here, if we really wanted to, is we could move this line up above. Okay. So we've done a little bit of work here, and it's okay, right? So instead of doing all of this, what we do is we set item value equal to item at, and then get rid of continue. And this should still work. Why did we do this? Okay. The real question is, why did I move things around? Well, for one, I like all my assignments right near the top. I just like that, right? It makes sense to me. The other reason is because now, whereas before we continued, we did not get this fifth multiplier on rare items, but now we absolutely do. So if a rare item appears in a place where we should be doing a fifth multiplier, now that will still happen. We won't get this streak because no two arrays should ever be equal. That's just not a thing that can happen, right? It's either the exact same array or they're different, right? So the streaks aren't going to happen, but the fifth multiplier can. So a little bit of an adjustment there to make it better, right? And we were able to clean up some code by getting rid of that continue. We don't need it anymore. So with that, this is the challenge today, right? It's a bit much, but it works, and it works well. So I'm quite happy with that. Again, not every solution, just hopefully one good solution. But let me know in the comments. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you go a different way that you want to share? Let me know all that stuff. Otherwise, this has been Earth Day Cleanup Crew, and I will see you tomorrow.